Hey, my name is Brennan Dunn, and I'm one of the co-founders of RightMessage, and I'd like to introduce you to RightBar, which in our opinion is the easiest way to present the right offer to the right person depending on where they are in your sales funnel. In this few-minute video, I'd like to introduce you to RightBar and show you just how easy it is to get set up and to publish it to your website. So what is RightBar? Well, RightBar in a nutshell is a tool that allows you to have a top sticky bar across your entire website or just certain pages on your website. And this sticky bar will say something and present a call to action based on, again, on data that you have about somebody. So are they anonymous? Are they on your newsletter? Are they a customer, and so on? What I'd like to do is I'd like to show you, this is a brand new account. I've done nothing. I have a website here that says welcome to my website and nothing else on it. I have a more or less empty Drip account, which is one of the email marketing apps we integrate with. And I've loaded in some tags like they've bought a book, they've hired me for coaching, they joined an email course and registered for a webinar, and so on. And I want to show you how I would use the data that I already have, this tag data, to change the call to action that somebody will see on my website. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate RightBar with my Drip account. So I'm going to choose Drip. I'm going to select my account right here and authorize access. And now what this does is now my website is now in sync with Drip. So whether you use Drip, ConvertKit, Infusionsoft, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, or any of the email marketing apps or CRMs we integrate with, we make it so we can talk in real time to the backend you have, to the data that you already have about what somebody's bought, whether they're on your list, and all and so on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly into RightBar. And the first thing that it asks me is, what kind of business do I run? Now we do this just so we can have an idea of how we should preload your RightBar account. So don't get too hung up on this, but you can see, for example, the default funnels that will get set up. So I mentioned that I've got, I've got this kind of hybrid digital product and coaching business. So I would probably choose digital products here. I'm going to choose that as my template. And you can see here it sets me up with a few different default segments with different call to actions and messages for each. So I'm going to actually skip over to my segment editor. And I want to make sure first that before I go any further that I change these, that I define these different segments based on the tag data that I have in Drip. So anonymous, I want to target anyone who is anonymous, meaning they're not on my list. Subscriber, somebody on my list. And then the next stage of my funnel will be somebody who's maybe enrolled in my email course. All right, so I'm going to look for somebody who has the tag join email course. And then the next stage will be somebody who's bought my book. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get people on my list. And then once they're on my list, I want them into my email course if they're not already. And then once they go through the email course, they're going to be pitched on my book. So I'm going to look here to see, have they bought my book? And then after that, we're going to add a few different, few more segments. So the next segment will be registered for webinar. So imagine that after somebody has bought a book of mine, I want to get them on a webinar where I'm going to pitch them on coaching. So here I'm going to look for registered for webinar. And then there's one final segment that I need where, here it is. And in this final segment, this is going to be somebody who's bought coaching. And here I'll look at tags hired for coaching. Okay, so this is going to be my funnel. So bottom to top, first you start off as anonymous. You're on my website. I don't know who you are. You then either get on my list through, say, a newsletter, or you go directly onto my list through the email course that I pitch you on. And then I want you to buy my book. And then after buying my book, I want to pitch you on joining my webinar. And then finally, I want you to hire me to coach you. So I'm going to go back into RightBar right now. And you can see now that we have a few different options here. So we have anonymous, subscriber, enrolled in my email course, and so on. So what do I want anonymous people to do? Well, I want them to join, join my free email course. And then I can have this go to free course, join free. And then if they're on my list, but let's say they haven't actually joined my email course, hey subscriber, why don't you join my free email course? So we could do this, targeting subscribers. Same thing, it's gonna go to the same endpoint. But then if they've already joined my email course, which is pitching them on my ebook, I wanna get them to buy my ebook when they're back on my site. Let's say they're reading my latest blog post or something like that. So interested in my book. And then I can change the button copy to be/book, learn more. Now let's say they've bought the book, now they're back on my website. I want to get them to join my upcoming webinar. And then I could go to /webinar, register now. And then if they've already joined my webinar and they've already viewed it, hire me for coaching. And then this could go to /coaching, learn more. And then if they've bought my coaching, I probably don't want to show them anything. So what's really nice about this is I've very quickly built out an offer funnel that targets somebody depending on what engagement they've had already with my business. So I've set these up. It's taken me really a matter of minutes so far. And now I can continue and I can inspect the different segments that I've set up. So this all looks good. I've already set this up. And I'm going to go now and style this. So you can see my website is nothing to write home about. It's just a welcome to my website. We'll preview that here. I can change the colors. Let's make this maybe a blue. And then the button, let's make that a orange of some sort. That looks good. And then I'm going to save and continue. And then I have the option to only show this or hide this on certain pages, but I want it to go on every page on my website. So I'm going to go ahead and click publish. And now a few seconds later, I have this call to action that is now showing on this website. Now, granted, I'm anonymous. It doesn't know who I am. So let's change that. Let's go and I'm going to create a subscriber. And I'm going to pretend that they've booked customer at brennandunn.com. I'm going to add the tag bought book to them. I'm going to save this. And now if I were to go back to this website as that subscriber, let's say that they click an email or click a link in an email I send them or something like that, they're going to see a join my upcoming webinar call to action. So again, what's going to happen is the data, the stats, or I should say the call to action is going to change, again, depending on what they've done or haven't done with me. Now, speaking of stats, I jumped ahead. When I go back to RightBar from now on, we're going to now see a dashboard where I'm going to be able to see exactly how many people convert for each of these different stages. So how many anonymous people click on the call to action, how many subscribers, how many people in this segment, and so on. So this will give me a very granular way of seeing exactly how each stage of my RightBar converts relative to each other. So I hope you have a better idea now of how RightBar works. We'd love to have you give it a chance on your website. This is one of those things that makes so much sense. It makes so much sense to show the right thing to the right person, but it's always been cumbersome to set up. It hasn't been easy. We finally made it just take, within minutes, you can have a dynamic offer funnel set up on your site, on your blog, or wherever you publish content. And we'd love to help you increase conversions and increase sales through RightBar.